Mozart in Italy will never enjoy the success which he has known in Germany or in England. The reason, which is simplicity itself, is that his music does not reflect the temperamental characteristics induced by the Italian climate. It is emotive music, destined above all to evoke images in a vein of tender melancholy, which fill the soul with memories of sadness and echo the dying languor of the sweetest of passions. But love is not the same in Bologna as it is in Königsberg. Love in Italy is far more dynamic, more impatient, more violent, less dependent upon dreams and imagination. It is not a gentle and gradual tide which sweeps slowly, but for all eternity, into the farthest recesses of the soul. It takes the whole being by storm, and its invasion is the work of an instant. It is a frenzy, but frenzy knows nothing of melancholy. It is a wild explosion of massed energies. But melancholy springs from a dearth and a failing of energy. No novel, as far as I know, has ever described love in the Italian manner. And Italy, as a natural consequence, is a land where the novel is unknown. The passions are the very stuff of art. That, of course, is one of the main reasons why art cannot flourish in the sad, cold climate of the North, where society is the universal judge and arbiter of everything, where society is above all things dispassionate, ironical, and vain, while its heart is so shriveled and withered with the terror of ridicule that in the end it is capable of nothing but cowardice in the most absurd degree. To excel in art, the first essential is to have experienced the consuming fires of passion. A man may be gifted with the most brilliant intelligence, the sharpest wit, the keenest critical faculties, and yet it will avail him nothing. For unless he has first fulfilled the one essential condition, which is at some time or other to have made himself unspeakably ridiculous, he will never behold art otherwise than through the dim folds of a veil. He may be filled with analytical penetration. He may, respecting all other studies worthy of human attention, be a positive mine of wisdom, sagacity, profundity, etc. Yet no sooner is he placed before a work of art than he becomes blind to everything, save to the one part which is totally insignificant, the material. To him, a painting is the canvas on which it was painted, while music, as he understands it, is nothing but an offshoot of mechanical physics, a science of sounds varied in combination. Such is Voltaire when he writes of music or pictures. These hard, insensitive northerners, faced with a Raphael, can find nothing better to do than to analyze it, dissolving its sublimity into a smart, practical talent for spreading color on canvas. And as for music, obviously I'm being uncharitable, yet the reason why I have allowed my satirical instincts to run riot in this unkind manner is because these very same intelligent people, who have just been so harshly victimized, are precisely the sort of critics by whom I hope that this book of mine will be judged. Intellectually, that is to say, they are infinitely superior to everyone else in the world, that as judges of art described, they have no conceivable rivals. Even when the description may happen to deal with a work which in the original they can neither understand nor appreciate. If I were writing a history of music or painting, I should go to Italy to collect my material, but I should publish the finished work in Paris. For whenever it is a question of the accuracy of some abstract conception, or of the aptness of a descriptive epithet, then the men of the North, moulded by some 2 centuries of more or less untrammeled discussion, recovered that undisputed superiority which had slipped from their grasp at the sight of a piece of sculpture, or in the presence of the ritornello of some great theme. In France, the painter or the musician finds the throne of the passions usurped by unlawful rulers, either by the terror of offending against the established conventions, against 1,001 artificial susceptibilities, or else by the obsessive cogitation which of necessity precedes the venturing upon a nicely contrived pun. In England, art has two dire and implacable enemies: religion, of the Old Testament variety, and pride. In the higher ranks of society, the passions, without exception, are constricted by an ailing timidity, which is but pride under another disguise. And elsewhere, among the majority of young men, all true emotion is overwhelmed by the appalling necessity of devoting an average of 15 hours out of every 24 hours to some ungrateful labor, failing which the victims are condemned to starve for want of bread and die in the streets. It is easy to see why Italy, the land of love and of dolce far niente, should be at the same time the homeland of art, and why, on the other hand, thanks to the petty and suspicious tyrants who batten on that unhappy country, it is only in the north that men are sufficiently enlightened to be able to discuss and judge when art is dissected into words. Let the North busy itself with its foreign Bible societies, with its utilitarianism and its finance. Let peers of the realm in England, rolling in their millions, spend the day from dawn to dusk in grave discussion with their agents concerning the problem of a 25% reduction in the rents of their innumerable tenants. Meanwhile, the poor Italian, who only finds his fetters more securely fastened, and the hideous injustices which he endures more tyrannously prosecuted by the efforts, direct and indirect, of such pious and humanitarian folk, knows only too well what he should think of so much virtue. His enjoyment lies in art. He has learned to appreciate beauty in every shape and form which nature has been pleased to bestow upon his surroundings. There is pity rather than hatred in his look as he scrutinizes the dreary features of the northerner. What do you expect? I heard one day from one of the most charming of the poor citizens of Venice, "These pious, gloomy folk treat Venice like a colony. We are 800,000 people, and they give us orders and call us barbarians because we are uncivilized enough to prefer our sunshine to their snows. But we watch them being bored, and that is our revenge."